What are you making?
I'm mixing up a stew to give corporate a different view. Have a taste. Welcome to the Corporate Kitchen. I'm your host, Tiger, and today on the menu is personal health. This should be a no-brainer topic. This podcast is marked clean, not explicit, so I can't curse you out and tell you that you need to take care of yourself with all the expletives that I want to say. But this is a no-brainer. Please take care of yourself. Now more than ever. Your physical health, your mental health, your relationships. But please, take care of yourself. According to the Merriam-Webster, the definition of personal health is, well, I guess we have to slice this dough to get the rolls we need here. So let's start with personal. Functioning as an adjective here means 8 things. 1, of, relating to, or affecting a particular person, private individual. 2, done in person without the intervention of another. 3, relating to the person or body. 4, relating to an individual or individual's character, conduct, motives, or private affairs, often in an offensive manner. 5, being rational and self-conscious. 6, of, relating to, or constituting personal property. 7, denoting grammatical person. 8, intended for private use or use by one person. Obviously, we're talking about the first 3 definitions. I know that was a lot, but we'll clean it up at the end. For health, let's see what health as a noun means. Only 3, not as bad. 1, the condition of being sound in body, mind, or spirit, or the general condition of the body. 2, a condition in which someone or something is thriving or doing well. 3, a toast to someone's health or prosperity. You could easily Google personal health together to get a straightforward answer, but I think doing this exercise makes it a lot clearer when we put some of the definitions together. So take this as a definition using number 2 for personal and number 2 for health. You get done in person without the intervention of another, a condition in which someone or something is thriving or doing well. I really want to put emphasis on thriving. Your personal health isn't about a threshold of good. I don't want you to be good. Your personal health is literally the biggest thing you control. You control your own personal health. And you cannot be your best self if you identify your personal health as good. If I ask you, how's your health? And you say good, how can you bring out the best? Again, per the definition, I don't want you to be good. I don't want you to be at a condition where you're considering yourself good. By definition, I need you thriving. I want you at your best self. You should take care of yourself so well that you are thriving. So again, this is a plea. Please, please, please take care of yourself. We can kind of think of it like fruit. There are a lot of different ways that you can take care of fruit. And we're talking all kinds of fruit: apples, oranges, pears, bananas, right? When you buy fruit, you know at some point it will expire. I'm not sure what you believe in, but for the sake of this conversation, we're going to say at some point we all are going to expire and pass on to wherever you believe that you pass on to, if you believe in that. There's a finite time that we have, just like there's a finite time for the fruit. It will not be in its best shape throughout the entire duration of that time. We can do things to keep it at its most peak top shape for an extended period of time and try to make that freshness last as long as possible. The same is said for you. When your body hits its prime, we have to do everything in our power to extend that prime for as long as possible. And we tend to only think of prime when it comes to athletes. LeBron James is a great example. He's clearly out his prime and he's playing at a very high level because he's taking care of himself. He's also a once in a lifetime type talent. I understand that. But look at what's around him too. or who's around him. Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, there's a lot of other athletes that are well deep into their career past their prime and still holding at a high level because they took care of themselves. If we go to Major League Baseball or the NFL, there's many people we can identify, NFL being Tom Brady, MLB, Ichiro Suzuki, that played a lot of seasons, played at a high level. If you study them, they go over how well they took care of themselves and what they had to do. Mind you, we're not athletes making millions of dollars, so we don't have the access to the nutrition, to the health, to the chefs that they do. But you do have access to stuff. How? Through your company's benefits. The first takeaway that I want to give you is benefits in corporate are meant to be used, and you should not feel obligated to hold on to them and let them expire because you're supporting the company. Benefits are meant to be used. Use them for your own personal health. The biggest one is paid time off. If you have that benefit, use it. I'm not saying that you need to use all of it or that if you don't use it, you're a bad person. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you have the benefit. When you need it to take care of yourself, please use it. I get so confused when I talk to people who have never taken a day off in years. Their pay time off is maxed out, and they laugh about how much time they have off and how much time they can take, and they never use it. I know some people that actually lose that time, where the time doesn't roll over year, it resets. Therefore, whatever time you don't use within the allotted calendar year, you're pretty much giving that free time back to the company. That's insane. Benefits are meant to be used. Don't let anyone in corporate make you feel bad for taking advantage of benefits. The other huge one that I really, really need to highlight that has changed in the world, and we have to take advantage of it. Parental leave. Parental leave has changed significantly over the years for the better. Nowadays, there is parental leave for the dad. The dad can take time off to bond with the baby. That wasn't a thing before. And we're not even talking like post-COVID. This change was made a little ways before that. There has been an influx of companies that have implemented paternity leaves for the dads to take time off in addition to the maternity leave that the mom takes off. There have been extensions or an extended time allotted to the mothers for their maternity leave. Use it. Use it. Do not feel obligated to cut that time short because you want to get back into the office because you think the team needs you. They're always going to need you, but they'll be okay. This isn't about the team. This is about you. Some companies really allow for flexibility in time where there are quote unquote core hours that you have to work, but the remaining hours you can do within an allotted, let's say, week, right? And the call schedule is weekly. You have to make those hours in a week, but let's say 90% of them are within core hours. Use flex time if you have to. You hear the stories of people utilizing these benefits based on their situations. I have children, therefore I'm using my flex time to do something for my kid. That's great. You should be doing that. But what are you also doing for yourself? That's the part that I think I don't hear enough, and what I'm emphasizing for you. It's okay to do stuff for your family. It's okay to do stuff for your partner. What did you do for yourself? When is the last time that you asked yourself, how am I doing? When is the last time someone else asked you how you were doing? And your response included something that you were doing for yourself. Not, how am I doing? Oh, I'm fine. Well, if you say that, right? If I ask you on Instagram, how are you doing? And you tell me good, obviously you didn't listen to anything to what I say right here. And, I almost want to like yell at you and say, I don't want you to be good. I want you to be thriving. How do we get you to thriving? What are you doing for yourself? When I check in on my friends, me and my best friend are really good at this. We will ask, what was the last thing you did for yourself? And if you don't have an answer, it's what are you going to do for yourself? You cannot be your best self if you identify your personal health as good. I need you thriving, and I need you to take care of yourself. Take advantage of the benefits that you have to you. I'm super jealous of those that work in tech companies in major cities like San Francisco or New York City before COVID. They had benefits galore. They were getting fed very well. They got their transportation taken care of. There were so many benefits they were able to utilize to handle their personal health. Not as deep in benefits post COVID-19 as before, but they're still there. I'm hoping this return to office initiative brings back a lot of those benefits and allows people to utilize them again if they're going to have increased time in the office. Quick PSA, quick side note, cafeteria food has to get better. This is a PSA to all of corporate America. We slacked on the cafeteria food during the pandemic, obviously, because no one was on site. We got to bring back the pre-pandemic level of cafeteria because the food was decent. I'm not gonna say it's the greatest. It was decent. Kind of slack there, almost like we're cutting costs there. So, would like to see you give that benefit back to us. Everyone else, right? If you don't have a cafeteria, if you're not in tech, you're working at a smaller company, and you don't have these benefits available, and you just have the standard paid time off and health benefits, you're going to have to pull a little deeper and see what you can do. Could you work an extra project, potentially get a bonus, and use that bonus to take yourself on a trip? Whatever the company has available, make sure you read your benefits. And this is another public service announcement. Read your benefits. Know what's actually available to you. Does your company offer mental health support or mental health insurance? Does your company offer pet insurance? Maybe it's time to get a pet. Does your company offer flex time? Does it offer the ability to buy paid time off? Understand your company's benefits and use them. Benefits are meant to be used. There's this whole stigma of you're not supporting the company if you're using the benefits. Do you know how much the company pays for us to have benefits? If you're already paying that in your SG&A, why wouldn't I use them? Otherwise, the company is just spending money on absolutely nothing. Right? So if you're corporate, SG&A for all these benefits, cool. I cost as an employee this much amount of money because I have my salary plus all these benefits. I'm going to use the benefits. Use the benefits, please, and take care of yourself. The pandemic really brought about an entire focus on work-life balance. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't like that phrase. The reason for that is that it comes across as a trick. Work-life balance. Why is work placed first? If it was life-work balance, it sounds weird, right? Let me say that again. Life-work balance. That sounds weird because work-life balance has been ingrained into us. Trying to juggle work with life. No. two issues with that. Number one, work should not take the priority. And number two, and this is what the second takeaway is, work is integrated into your life. It's not a separate part. It is integrated to your life. So you're not seeking a work-life balance. You're just trying to find balance in your life. In a 24-hour period, you have to sleep, you have to work, you have to eat. As the three standard things, depending on your situation, there may be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other things on that list that have to get done for you to balance your life in those 24 hours. To take work and isolate it, to say, let's make this a major focus outside the rest of the life and the rest of the life combine into another bucket. No, the work gets grouped, put it in there with the rest of your life, and figure out how to balance all of it. Depending on where you're working, if you're working a 9 to 5, you should, in theory, be spending as much time sleeping as you are working. You should get a solid 7-8 hours of sleep, work for 8 hours every day. Therefore, and I use that, I know a lot of us are not getting 7-8 hours of sleep, probably 4 to 6 hours for the majority of people. The reason I'm using that is to say, work takes up so much time in our life that it's put on its own pedestal. We spend a lot of time doing other stuff, sleeping, eating, playing, enjoying life, hopefully enjoying life, maybe video games, maybe reading a book, maybe traveling. There is a lot of time dedicated to work, but the work is only a part of your life. The reason that it's critical that you consider it all one piece and it's life balance rather than work-life balance is the ability to set boundaries. The boundaries of life are very complex, but are very important to setting yourself up to success. And it's not just a work-life thing. If you consider your balance just work and life, you're going to look at that as the culmination of everything you do outside of work needs to balance with work. And that's not true. Parents understand this very well. A child is a portion of that life balance. That portion, that slice of life, will always take priority over work. So if we think about this life as an apple, a portion of that apple's work, a portion is child, and a portion is, let's call a portion sleeping, a portion eating, and a portion everything else. Corporate's going to tell you that that half that's work is the most important. If you're setting boundaries and you're thinking of work within that apple instead of it being a separate apple, you're going to look at that apple and say, no, I can balance it within what I'm doing. Oh, and oh, by the way, you're maybe the largest piece of this apple. You're not the most important. It's the child. This one slice takes precedence over everything else in the apple. When you separate the two and you have two apples, you have to do almost double the work, double the cleaning, double the monitoring, double the thought process to say, let me compartmentalize my life, but then also do that for work and then try to bring the two together. It should all be rolled under one. It should all be one thing. Your work is integrated to your life. Balance that spreadsheet and balance it as one, not as separate. This is easier for people who really enjoy what they do for work and for those who are really good at setting boundaries. Those people who believe work is work, I do my time and go home, there's no reason to make work its own bucket, because in their mindset, it's part of my life is I drive in, do my time, go home. They're not going to put any added emotion into it because they've completed that segment of their life. If you separate it and isolate it, that is a lot more emotion and energy that you have to devote to something that shouldn't get it in the balance of your entire life. So takeaway number 2, again, it's life balance. Don't let corporate trick you. There's so many corporate buzzwords that are told. It's like one a year. Everyone wants to circle around a buzzword, whether it's disruptor, whether it's imposter syndrome, whether it's work-life balance. There's always some buzzword that corporate wants to rally behind and control the messaging. And it's almost a form of brainwashing and manipulation. I'm not going to go that far because it seems kind of harsh, but it's definitely a form of influencing that they do and controlling the narrative of how you perceive that balance. If I present it to you as work-life balance and we go in order, I'm going to tell you everything about work first, and you're going to think about it as work first. Not fair to you. Not how you thrive. You thrive by having life balance and thinking of your life in totality. The complexities of life are high for people that are very involved in it. What do I mean by that? You could be, let's say, a scientist, but also a parent, also a godparent, also a spouse, also a pet owner. That's 5 things that you are. 5 rings of complexity that you have to deal with. You could be a human resource professional and an avid traveler. And let's say you don't have any kids, right? So you're not a parent. But let's say you do have a pet and you're a pet owner. I like going back to the pet owner because people who do have pets understand the commitment that's required for that, right? I use that example of jet setter and pet owner because if you are traveling and you have a pet, you understand the requirement that it takes to logistically address how that pet gets taken care of while also taking care of yourself. You spend a lot of time balancing everything that's around you to make the schedule and the situation work for you. Work included, not its own thing. Gonna foot stomp this one more time. Take care of you. Please take care of you. It's not for anyone else. It's for you first. I understand that, you may have a spouse, you may have children, pet, parents, et cetera, that you want to live for and be there for. We all do. You can't be there for them if you're not there for yourself. What does that mean in the corporate world? Third takeaway, hard one to swallow, but we need to hear it. You're just a number at corporate. Everyone's going to tell you that. You're just a number at corporate. You have an employee number. That's what you are. They either pay you very well or they don't pay you very well. They give you good benefits or they don't give you good benefits. When you leave that company, there's a plan to replace you. There's a process to replace you. Just like that. You step out, someone else steps in. And depending on the efficiency of the company, sometimes they don't even miss a beat. They don't even skip a beat. It doesn't take 3-6 months to do it. They'll have it done within a month. If you're that easily replaceable in someone's life or in this case, in corporate, don't make them its own filing cabinet in your life. They are a file in the cabinet of your life balance. Third takeaway is personal health is for you. Personal health is for you. You want to strive. You want to be at your best. You have to take care of you. There's many ways it can be done. There's many different forms it can be done. And here's the kicker. It's different for everyone. Everyone's interests vary. What you like to do, what you're interested in, what makes you happy. For me personally, I get cabin fever pretty quickly. I like to travel. And if I'm stuck in the house for too long, I get antsy and I need to travel somewhere, go somewhere. For my wife, for her, she gets the shopping bug, where she is very happy if she can just do a mini shopping spree every now and then. For you, what does that look like for you? Do you need to go shopping? Do you need to travel? Do you need to play video games? Do you need to read a book? Do you need to socialize and see people? Do you need to see family? Do you need to spend time with your pet? Really ask yourself, what is in it for you? What's in it for me? What do I do that makes me happy and keeps me thriving? I have a colleague and friend that really, really likes tasting different breweries selections and seeing what they have, right? It's not necessarily a specific type of beer, but they like to go to all different breweries, especially while traveling, and taste the whole selection. Taste something different every time they go. Pretty cool. This person has a collection of a lot of little knickknacks and little souvenirs from all the different places that they've been. To me, that's awesome, right? Something that you enjoy, something you identify that you enjoy, and you go do it. I really want to tenderize this point before we move to wrapping up. Let me put it to you this way, and maybe this may make a little bit more sense if you're still not bought into it. In corporate manufacturing, there are 3 major constraints to reaching the goals of manufacturing. You should be able to guess them. Cost, schedule, quality. Those are your 3. Everyone talks about how they want a balance to all 3 and they can meet all 3. In reality, you can't. There's a leading constraint and a trailing constraint with one in the middle. There's one that's the strongest and one that's the weakest. You're never going to get companies to admit this out loud, but you can read the news and gain a perception that quality is the weakest, schedule is the strongest, and cost is in the middle. One person can only give so much. Therefore, one company can only give so much. It's very hard to balance all 3 of those constraints. What does that mean for you as an employee? At the enterprise level of all corporations, public companies, there are also 3 constraints, 3 pillars of constraints. There's the commitment for the shareholders, the commitment to the customers, commitment to the employees. Guess where you fall as an employee? Strongest, medium, weakest. Where do you fall as an employee? It's not the strongest. There are companies out there that put employees medium. I have not run across a company that put employees as the strongest. If you believe your company puts employees as the strongest, let me know on Instagram. I'm curious. But these larger publicly traded companies, shareholders, strongest pillar, strongest constraint. You as an employee are put on the weakest. Should that make you feel bad? No. It should let you know where you stand on the total poll. So don't feel as though you have to sacrifice your thriving level of personal health in order to make the company succeed when the company doesn't put you first. And I'll say that again. If the company does not put you first, there's no reason that you need to sacrifice your thriving level of personal health to help them meet their goals. I don't want you good. I want you thriving. By definition, you should be thriving. If I'm good, you don't have great personal health. You're thriving, you have great. If you don't know what thriving looks like for you, maybe you need to evaluate your personal health. So with that being said, let's take a look at this one more time. Really make sure that we presented a good meal here. Bottom line, take care of your personal health. Period. When you get into corporate, check your benefits. Even if you're in corporate, next benefits election, make sure you review all your benefits. Understand what you have available and what you don't. I remember this past benefits election, one of my coworkers asked me, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, you really don't know about this benefit? Wow, okay." So make sure you understand what benefits your company has available. And they change. They can change. Sometimes they will offer this 1 year, sometimes they don't. Just like you read your health insurance and you know how your health insurance changed because we get taken advantage of with that. Do that for the rest of your benefits. Make sure you read them. 2, have that life balance and set your boundaries. Balance your life. It's not work-life balance. Work does not come first. You come first. Balance your life. And 3, make it for you. It is for you at the end of the day. It's a finite time that we have on this planet, and we want to enjoy every minute that we have together. I appreciate you taking time out of your life to listen to this podcast, and I enjoy the time that we get together for you to listen to me, and hopefully we can interact on social media. So thank you for that, and I really hope that this time is valuable to you and provides some level of positivity to influence your personal health to thriving. And with that, we'll turn off this stove, take off the thinking apron, and let's just say the dishes will get done later. This topic wasn't a big mess, but if we learned something today, then we know there's a little cleaning up to do. I do want to talk this topic more, maybe trade stories about this soon, like this Thursday soon. I hope to see you there. Thanks for being in the corporate kitchen today. I'm your host, Tiger. Until next time.